What's going on, everybody? Glowing Gear Studios coming at you with part 3 of our lovely Earthbound Chosen 4 sculpt. Here you see me posing Nest. By the way, this is definitely going to be much more. Actually, not much more. I lied. It's going to be a little bit more than 3 parts. I'm looking at 4, hopefully not 5. I mean, my lord. But this project turned out to be substantially more extensive than I initially thought it was going to be. I really did think that this was only going to be like a maximum of 3 parts, but you'll see in the videos and in the time lapses the amount of like nuanced detail that I started to comb through, and not only, you know, obviously trying to clean everyone's mesh and make sure that everything was together, but the poses and the configuration of everyone, like the, what's the word for that called? It's not a layout, but the general structure of the way that the sculpt was going to be, like let's say who's positioned where, and I love the positions, by the way, you're going to see what's going to happen, but I love the way that everyone came out and the way that everyone is put together. Here you see me making a fist, because now this is where I start to add more of the detail, because we already had the base. That's why you saw me mesh all of the arms together. Like you saw, you know, at first they were just tubes, right, with placeholders, so that way, you know, I could use the various nodes to position it easily. So here I'm making a pretty easy fist. If you want to make a fist like that, you know, within the span of, that was snapping, by the way, in case you didn't hear that. But there was, if you want to make a fist easily, all you have to do is take a sphere, flatten it out to make kind of like a putty, like Play-Doh looking like blob, and then you take a 5 tubes, use the nodes as each of the individual like joints where, you know, your finger bones would be, and articulate it however you want, as long as it's proportionate, it's gonna look fine. But yeah, so there's a lot of detail and stuff that I wanted to work through, and by the time, so I'm as of recording this right now, I am about I'm maybe around an hour away from finishing the sculpt. I'm gonna say like around 15 hours in, maybe closer to 20, but I'm about 15 hours in. So here I am posing Ness, and now I start to add Paula, and you're gonna see how I'm gonna add Jeff and Pooh after this as well. But I decided to have Ness with his bat out, kind of like the Smash taunt, you know Smash. I mean, come on, people, like Jesus, we know Smash. When it comes to Ness's pose, I thought the Smash taunt and him being like in a semi-heroic but childish, playful pose, you know what I mean, I think is the best way that I could, you know, capture Ness's persona. So having him, you know, with his right fist, you know, his arm is cocked, he's ready to, you know, he's raising a fist, you know, flexing his arm, and then he's holding the battle just like the Smash taunt. It's like, yo, this guy's ready to rumble, and you better believe that I'm going to be putting a smile on him. Paula is going to be in a praying pose. So right now I'm kind of doing like karate chop hands, and you're going to see how that's going to work together very soon. But she's doing karate chop hands because she's praying. Now, for those of you that have played the game, you are acutely aware of why praying is so important, especially in terms of what goes on at the end. But for those who haven't, praying is a very important, it's like a Hail Mary, essentially, you know, no pun intended, but it's like a Hail Mary where if you know, you're low on health, don't have any psychic points left, you don't have any items, you could pray and you basically roll your dice, and like something either really good could happen to you, something good could happen to the enemy, something bad could happen to everyone, something good could happen to everyone. So it's a neat little mechanic, a nice little D&D action. But yeah, so now I'm going to pose Jeff. Also, I know that my thoughts are literally all over the place. There's just a lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff going on, too, like my life, trying to make some changes. Glowing Gear Studios is, you know, going through some nice positive changes that I hope to be updating you guys with at some point soon. But yeah, that's why, you know, a whole bunch of things have made this. And I also, you know, I love Earthbound. It became one of my favorite games of all time. So I took a lot of care, took a lot of time to make everything here. And I still need to make some adjustments. But yeah, this project turned out to be huge, like exhausting in a good way, where there's just a lot to be done and a lot to be had and a lot to present. But I'm really proud of the way that this is coming up. So by the time that this video ends, I'm much further ahead in the sculpt than what you're going to be seeing here at the end. I'm going to be posting that video probably sooner than this one came out. So I would say less than a week when that was going to come out. But I was trying to think, like, wow, what in the hell? Like, what am I going to do with Jeff? Like, how is he going to get post? Because I first wanted to have him use a bottle rocket. I was like, wait a minute. Jeff's low-key got an attitude. So I decided to have him with his gun. I think that that was cooler. I don't know if I'm allowed to say. Am I allowed to say gun on YouTube? Is that like legal business? But he has his blaster, and there's a because I wanted to use a bottle rocket before. I was like, how can I involve him a little bit more in the sculpt? So I had him lean on whatever Ness's base was going to be. I decided on what that was going to be after asking Reddit, and a whole bunch of people gave me some really, really good suggestions. And, what I decided to do was do something that was a little bit practical and also easy. So you see that I substitute this block that I have here, which is obviously a placeholder for a base. I substitute that with a trash can, and you can see that I'm going to add that in later. Trash cans are found like throughout the game and have, many items, including like burgers. We love teaching children, the great ideas of sifting through random garbage in an effort to find food. But that's neither here nor there. And then Pooh, I will admit, I did not know how to involve as much in the sculpt in terms of like everyone else, what they're doing. So I decided to put him in just like a sort of martial arts pose, kind of similar to what's here, except that I have him, he has a kind of like a relaxed, like ready to go stance hand for his right hand. And then his left hand, I have cocked into a fist. So you'll see how that gets thrown in. But I really love the way that his gi came out. And I used the separate meshes for the flowing parts that are under the belt, and I love the way that it sits on top of the legs. But you guys have been keeping around. You know how this stuff is done at this point. If you want more details and you want me to go a little bit slower, longer videos, let me know. If you want me to stay a little bit more focused and talk specifically about the sculpt, let me know, because I understand that this is basically just. It's like half podcast. It's half podcast. Yeah, you just saw me cloning the hand, right? So I used Ness's fist, cloned that, and put it for Pooh's fist. But yeah, so it's half podcast, half instructional, half, just explaining, what's going on, not so much teaching. But I'm trying to find my niche here. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that's happening, people. Like I'm happy with the way, not just with the sculpt, but like just in general with, the little company and everything else. But you're gonna see how this is all shaping up. Again, that was a pun intended. How this is shaping up really nicely. This is the base for everyone, right? You see here we got a little turntable. This is what the sculpt is looking like so far as of recording. As I recorded this part, a couple days ago. But yeah, so let me know what you think. Really, really happy. With overall like the positioning here, the way that everyone's arranged, and. I'm really excited to show you what's going on. This is a really big project. It's taken a lot out of me, taken a lot of time, but like, comment, subscribe for more, and I will get back to you soon. Have a good one.